Hi, this is Andy Bower at Object Arts. This is part 2 in a series of videos on how to use the Aragon 3D experimental package for Dolphin Smalltalk. In the first video we looked at how to install Aragon into your Dolphin image, and this is where we left off. We had placed a sphere onto the ground plane. And now I'd like to show you the basic ways of manipulating objects inside the Aragon window. The first thing to notice is that if you click on an object, you get a selection box around it. And you can basically drag objects around using that selection. Notice we're dragging in what is the X and Z planes here. This is the Z plane going out into the distance, and this is the X direction. If we want to drag in the Y direction, you hold down the Alt key to get the alternate direction, and now when we drag in the Y direction and the X direction. So that makes manipulating the objects fairly easy. Let's put that back on the ground. There are also other ways of manipulating these objects. There are manipulators built into the 3D window. If you go down to the bottom here, there's a flap that folds out which has the camera manipulators on it. If you move off that, it flips back, but you can pin it to the window if you like by clicking the pin. There we go. And using that, you can click on these various different manipulators here. This center one here is a pan and tilt. I'm holding down the mouse button here after clicking on that manipulator. This one here is just camera move, back out into the distance. But the one I normally use is this dolly one here, which is basically dollies the camera forward and allows you to move it around. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but allows you to do very quick movements with the camera. Again, these respond to movements, or to the Alt key to give movements in the alternate direction. So if we, for example, hold the Alt key down and I now press the camera move, you see I can move up and down and left and right. Okay. Now over here we have another flip out panel which basically has the object manipulators. Once again, I can pin these to the screen, and these will manipulate the selected object. I can rotate it, I can move it, and I can dolly the object. Okay. Once again, these respond to the Alt key to give movements in the alternate direction. Okay, those are the basic manipulation functions for objects in the 3D window. Now let's take a quick look at how you can manipulate an object's properties. If you go over here and click on the properties pane, and you'll see that a tree opens up with a list of all the objects in the scene. If you click on the, if you select the object itself, it will be selected in here, and you can choose different functions. For example, we could turn shadows off. Okay, back on again. There are also a number of constraints you can apply to an object. In this particular case, we've locked the roll and the tilt functions. You can set the material of an object, different colours available, and there are a number of other properties, such as turning the physics on and off, setting the position, the rotation, and the scale. Scale is quite an interesting one. If we click on that, we have a slider which will manipulate all 3 of the axes at once, and so I can zoom the object up. But let's say I wanted to actually just stretch that out in one direction rather than the others. I can select the x-axis, and now I can zoom it like that. And if I just show you a bit better, if I rotate it, we have a rugby ball. So anyway, those are the basic manipulations that you can do inside Aragon, and I'll go into a few more details in the next video.